Welcome back to No Sticks, No Bricks. This week, we are answering all the questions that you asked on Facebook.
Like an hour ago.
Yeah, right? And we're going to get into all that right after this. All right, our friends over at Keeves 5 Adventures, they want us to share a little information of how we met.
Aww.
And what led to our meeting, and wants us to get personal. So, you ready to get personal?
Always.
All right. So, you want to tell the story of how we met?
Yep,
So there was this catalog, see? No?
No. I am not a mail order bride.
All right.
So basically, Jason was already stationed in Alaska.
Yep.
And I had just got stationed up there.
It was both of our second duty assignments.
Second duty assignments.
Yep.
And so I became friends with someone that I worked with, Desiree. He was already friends with her, and they were having a party.
Shocking.
Right?
Bachelors having parties.
So she invited me to go with her. And then I met Jason. Of course, he had just been dumped.
Yep. I just got dumped.
He just got dumped. But
Thank God now.
I saw him, started talking. He was, I was like, oh, he's really good looking. And I told my friend Desiree, it's like, think I'm gonna marry him one day. And
Sure as heck did.
sure as heck did. Now I can't get rid of him now. Just kidding.
Yep. Yeah, so that's pretty much how it happened.
Mm-hmm. And then we dated for a little bit, broke up for a little bit, then got back together and been.
Yeah, I was, I was going through some stuff, and we were young. I mean, we were only, what, 22 at the time?
Yep.
21, barely.
Mm-hmm.
And so we ended up dating for, 2 years before we got married.
We didn't get married till, 99, so yeah.
Yes, and we got together in January of 97, I think is what it was. So yeah, a little over 2 years, because we got married in April of 99.
Yeah, because I got stationed up there like right before Thanksgiving of 96.
Yep, I scooped her right up before all them other GIs could get a hold of her.
That's right.
All right, next question from Jeff and Karen White. After all the issues with your current RV, would you ever consider going back to a fifth wheel, not a toy hauler, but a regular fifth wheel camper? And I'd say that we're both gonna say no on that one.
And we really haven't, it's gonna seem like we've had a lot of issues with the new RV.
Yes.
But we haven't.
Let me explain. We've had 5 fifth wheels, right? When we first started full-time RVing, we ordered our Momentum. We had a 2021 Grand Design Momentum 397. Brand new, ordered it from the factory, picked it up, lived in it, for 3 years. Within the first year, it developed several nitnoid little problems and issues like we're having now in our new RV. But we did not take it in to get fixed for warranty repairs. So our first year on the road, we were moving pretty fast. We were only staying in places 5 days, 6 days, a week at the most, and we were moving on to something else. We were brand new at full time. We wanted to try to pack in as much as we could. We were still in weekend warrior mode. So all of the issues that popped up, we just weren't anywhere near somewhere that they could address them.
So basically, we claimed everything within the 1 year warranty time frame.
Right. So I had emailed Grand Design.
See, these are the problems that we're having.
Here's the list. We don't have time to get them fixed right now. When we do, is it okay if we schedule something to get them fixed? And they were like, yep, no problem. That's cool.
They like in a timely manner. This is what they said. So we said, okay. So then 3 years later.
Well, not quite 3. It was like 2.
2.5. So not timely manner, I guess.
No.
We tried to go get it fixed. And they were like, it's been too long.
Yeah, and then they were been like, well, it's been too long. I was like, I claimed it all within the 12-month period. And I even sent pictures and everything. I'm not asking for anything outside of that to get repaired. I'm only asking for what I claimed within those 12 months to get repaired.
And the person we were working with no longer worked there anymore.
That was the big thing. That person was gone and moved on, and a new person had come in. And a new person did not want to cover it under warranty because we were outside of our warranty period, even though we had claimed it all within our warranty period. Does that make sense? Long story short, we worked with them and they did end up repairing it, but it was a pain in the butt. We had to jump through a bunch of hoops to get it all done under warranty. So that's why you see us within the first year of our owning this Fleetwood going back to Fleetwood as soon as we can when things pop up.
And the only
because we just want to get it taken care of while it's within its warranty period.
And it really, there's some stuff we could fix. Like there's a little stone that popped out of the bottom of the shower. And we could have fixed it, but we were already scheduled because as we've talked before, the Aquahot heat system still wasn't working. And you know, if it gets cold and we need heat, was a priority to us. So we're like, if we're gonna bring it back to get fixed, then all these little things that we could have fixed ourselves, we're gonna have them fix it because it's under warranty. Otherwise, if that probably wouldn't have happened, I don't see us.
No, I would have just fixed it. I wouldn't even have talked about it in a video. It just wouldn't have been a thing.
We would have fixed it, but since it's all under warranty and we got the extended warranty, like we're gonna utilize. We learned our lesson.
Yep.
And it's also, we're in the area. It's not like we
were actually going to drive right by that repair center anyway on the way to here to South Jetty.
And even the first time we were already in
kind of in the area. Well, we were in California. And
but but I mean, we weren't like, you know, in Texas or whatever. And
yeah. We were nowhere near Elkhart, Indiana to get the momentum fixed when we were there. That's for sure.
And this is either Decatur, Indiana, or Coburg.
Coburg, yeah. So we got a couple different options for Rev Group, which is nice. All right, our friends over at Wild Blue Wanderers, Scott and Ashley. Hey, they want to know what prompted Jason to get his hair cut, and will he grow it back out again?
I hope he doesn't grow it back out again.
I miss it. I miss it. I've always wanted to have my hair long. Even when I was a kid, I wanted it long, and my mom and dad wouldn't let me grow it out. And then of course I joined the military at 18, spent the next 23 years on active duty, and then I finally retired. I'm able to grow my hair out, and well, I don't grow very much anymore, especially up here. It's pretty thin. I guess, I don't know, I got a wild hair at my butt one day and decided, I'm gonna try to grow it out and see what happens. And it grew out fine back here. But up here, if I didn't have a hat on, yeah.
And it's like 3 different colors.
Yeah, I don't know why I went calico. I'm not sure about that.
So I didn't really particularly care for that.
But I am gonna grow it back out.
A little longer.
It's probably not gonna be as long as it was before, but it's definitely gonna be longer than a military haircut for sure. So the next question is gonna be just for us basically, because everybody's situation is gonna be different. This is from Clark C. Clark. He wants to know what a typical monthly cost is to live in an RV full time. He understands, there's a lot of factors that go into it. So we're just gonna talk about monthly costs that you probably wouldn't have if you were living in a sticks and bricks, besides like food and stuff. But I'm not gonna talk about like the payment on the RV or the Jeep or none of that. Or insurance, because that's gonna be different for everybody. So I would say, as an estimate, between $1,000 and $1,500 a month for fuel, campground fees, going out to eat, entertainment, that kind of stuff. And that might be a low number for some people, and it might be a high number for other people.
And that's including groceries.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless, you still need food, but
right. And that is with a 1,000 Trails membership.
Yes.
If we did not have the 1,000 Trails membership, it would be much higher than that. It goes back to what we were talking about before with all the costs rising. Next question from Melody over at Living Our Dream Now. We've already answered a couple of her questions, so we'll just go to the one we haven't answered. What wild animal have you come across in your hiking that stopped you in your tracks? I stepped on a damn snake one time.
It stopped me in my tracks.
I didn't even know it was there. Didn't see it on the ground. I stepped right on it, and all of a sudden it just took off, and it was a big old snake.
It was a big black snake. I don't know.
Rat snake or something. I'm not even sure what it was. I might have had to change my underwear after that one.
Yeah, probably.
Hope he's alive. Oh, there he goes. Oh, there he is. I got that on video. Oh my God.
My pants on that one.
Wasn't sure if he was alive or not. He wouldn't move.
I think Ed screamed.
I think he's alive and well, all right.
No, it wasn't me.
It was definitely me. It was like,
I think all 3 of you screamed.
I did.
And she also wants to know, what is our favorite campground? Oof, that is a tough question. Because if you're just talking campground, not location, but campground, one of my favorite campgrounds is Harris Beach State Park. It's in Brookings, Oregon, and it's absolutely beautiful. The park is just pristine. The sites are nice. You can walk to the beach from your site. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was a great state park. Within like the 1,000 Trails system or RV membership, it's an Encore park, but Voyager
Yeah,
I
Voyager's
mean, that
pretty nice.
park was...
That's in Tucson, Arizona.
And it had like a restaurant and like a store and
Yeah.
like had tons of activities,
Couple pools.
couple different pools.
Just a bunch of different amenities.
And just tons of stuff to do.
There's a lot of good parks out there. The next question is from Frank Jackson. He wants to know what our favorite tech is, like cameras and etc. I'm kind of a techie guy. I like the tech stuff. I really like the touch screen and the RVs for like turning lights on and all that kind of stuff. I do enjoy that. I like to be able to access the RV remotely via that app, and we can do that on our Fleetwood. I can turn lights on, I can turn ACs on, off, whatever. I can monitor the temperatures for the dogs when we're away, and that's really handy. And then of course we have a bunch of security cameras in our RV, inside and out. Definitely love those. Probably our dash cam that we have in the RV as well. I not only use that for security in case we get in a wreck or anything like that, but I'll pull footage off of it a lot for videos, just to have it, you know, put some music in the background showing us driving on travel day, that kind of thing. So yeah. And then of course we have Starlink, which is great, and T-Mobile home internet. Those two together hardly ever let us down. So all right, next question is from Michelle Elliott Brown. Here's some questions for you. Do you scope out places that you travel to settle down eventually? Do you worry about settling in a place and then worry that you want to return back to RV life? And also, do we struggle with missing our kids or feeling the sense of community?
So we do look at places to settle down, but the problem is, like for me, like I don't want to be any place that there's like a lot of natural disaster, like tornadoes, hurricanes, blizzards, earthquakes. So that kind of limits, I know, a lot. But I really feel like for us it's going to be Arizona if we ever did. But like I said, it's not going to be like a traditional sticks and bricks. It won't ever be that. It could just be a lot. It could be a park model. And when we were in the Tucson area, that's one of the things we both kind of agreed on. Because we did look at other things that kind of got our mind, like they got a great VA system, healthcare system there. They got a military base there. So those are the things that we do look at if we're going to settle down.
Right. It was one of the questions we had to ask ourselves and answer is, if we do get a park model somewhere, do we want to stay there in the winter or do we want to stay in the summer and travel the opposite? So we never look at a place and think this would be great to live all year long. Right. It's never enters our mind. It's always, would this be a great winter destination or summer or whatever?
And I feel like that'd be a great winter destination because, and we probably might not stay the whole winter there because we don't plan to get rid of the RV.
Definitely.
So it would be like maybe a couple months there, and then we could travel to Texas, or if we wanted to go to Florida we could, but we would still have that home base to like not have to bring everything we owned with us. Maybe get our storage unit stuff moved out.
That would be nice.
You know, like we carry all of our Christmas stuff and holiday stuff with us, but I don't need it when it's not that time of the year.
Yeah, it would be nice to have that somewhere.
Of course we miss the kids all the time.
Absolutely.
And that is why we would probably pick the West Coast. Our daughter has no desire to leave California. And if she did, she says she's not going to go any place that has snow. So that would probably leave Arizona.
Yep.
As her second place to go. And her son's in Alaska. He doesn't plan to leave. So.
Nope. So it'll definitely be on the West Coast. If and when it'll happen eventually. Maybe within 5 years?
I don't know, because then we also talk about doing boat life, so that's always the other...
That's a factor, and that's a whole nother conversation, though.
Yeah, and as far as like an community, I feel like we have one within the full-time RV community. We have lots of great friends that we've gone out of our way to go and see, changed our plans up, and gone on trips. Like we went to Cabo with, you know, Clay and Maria from Our Road Less Travel, and Sean and Billy from Free to Roam. So I feel like we have a better community than kind of what we had before.
That's one of the great things about Thousand Trails too, is that you tend to run into people that you know at different parks all over the U.S. And as a matter of fact, we just ran into Mark and Debbie, some Switch crew members, and we hung out with them last night and yesterday, and we're probably going to hang out with them for the next couple weeks.
I mean, that's another whole RV community that we're a part of, and so we've been a couple places recently where they've been, and we hung out. We sit by a fire, hang out, play cards, do stuff together. So I don't really feel like that's lacking at all.
No. Probably when you first start full-time RVing, when you're first starting to get, you know, get in the groove and you're traveling and you're starting to first meet people. But then after you've been on the road a couple years, and you're in the Thousand Trail system especially, you're almost guaranteed to run into somebody you know, no matter where you're at.
Yeah.
Michelle also said that they've found that as they've gotten older, they enjoy staying at places for 5 to 7 days. That gives them time to see things at a slower pace, a couple days to stay at the campsite and enjoy some downtime, and wants to know if we feel that too. And we actually feel 5 to 7 days is not enough time for us anyway. We usually try to stay somewhere for at least 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks. Again, our first year on the road, it was 4, 5, 7 days, and it's just, we went too quick, and it felt like we kept missing stuff, and we were gonna have to go back because we didn't have time.
And it's a lot of things play into that too. It's all about location.
Yeah.
It's also about if we're by ourselves or with friends, because when we're with friends, I feel like we can just stay as 3 weeks or longer.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we always have somebody there. Sometimes we go places, and if there's not a whole lot to do around, like if we've already maxed out the activities that we're interested in, then we're like, okay, like it's time to go. So
usually about 2 weeks we start getting antsy anyway. And also, if you're moving every 5 to 7 days, it gets expensive. I mean, fuel's not cheap, so the longer you stay in one area, it tends to be a little bit cheaper for you.
Like we said, we don't do a lot of things on the weekend, unless it's an event that's only on the weekend, a car show or something along those lines. But normally we do stuff during the week, and the weekend is our time to like go grocery shopping, we clean, we do laundry. It's kind of like the opposite of when we had a stick and brick.
Exactly. And lastly, she asked if we plan on driving back to Alaska for a summer, and as a matter of fact, we are driving up next summer, summer 2026.
Already planning.
And some of you probably have heard us talk before about maybe doing a caravan up there, leading a group of folks, but we decided we're not going to do that. So sorry, we just don't want to deal with the logistics of being in charge of a bunch of people, and it's because it's such a long distance. We're actually going to go up, not just a vacation style, because we got to go visit our son, we got to go through our storage unit, and we're going to try to get rid of our storage unit or move our storage unit. So when we go up there, it's going to be some fun and stuff, probably some fishing, but mostly it's going to be some work stuff, for
the work that we do.
All right, our next question comes from our friends over at Voyage with MS, and they ask, what has surprised us the most, for better or worse, about living full-time in an RV? I'm going to add something to that, living and traveling full-time in an RV, and what surprised me the most is how crappy people drive. They are horrible. Everybody's in a hurry these days. They're like driving around with their hair on fire. Travel days it's like you entering the battlefield. You're going to war. It's travel day. You got to put a helmet on, a flak jacket, and you got to have dash cameras and everything, because people are just idiots. They're constantly cutting us off, and they're not paying attention. They're all flying
on
to
phone, because now that we sit higher, you can see.
They're all flying to some money tree that we're not aware of its existence or where it's at, but they're all going there to get it, I guess. I don't know, but that's what I say. What do you say?
I'm gonna say the positive side.
Okay.
Is I've always had a lot of stuff. Like, I used to collect purses and have to have my knickknacks and like my big mixers and 15 pairs of shoes for different occasions, and I feel like we live a lot simpler now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Replace my shoe problem with what problem, babe?
Sunglasses problem? Is that what you're pointing at?
I have an Oakley sunglass problem. I cannot walk by an Oakley store and not get a pair, so.
No doubt. She's only got 2 eyes, folks. I don't know where she's.
But I feel like it has to replace I used to have all the Coach, Michael Kors,
So would you say that your biggest surprise is what you can live without?
Yes.
Yeah, that's definitely a surprise.
I mean, I miss some things. I miss my big old KitchenAid mixer. But in reality, like, what am I going to make with it?
Your big old double oven.
I mean, in the house, I miss that during the holiday times, but other than that, not. Obviously, I've lived without it, so.
Yep.
I think one of the best things about living in a RV full-time and not having a house is cleaning. I mean, I can clean the whole RV in like an hour or 2.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the house. It's just way more easier.
Yeah, that's true.
Less room.
Especially easier for her to clean when she doesn't do the vacuuming, the floors, the windows, or any of that kind of stuff. All right, so next question comes from an old high school buddy of mine, Sean Waterhouse. He wants to know when we're coming back to Iowa to do a group camp. I haven't really thought about that, but that's a pretty good idea. We're gonna have to kick that one around. I even have an idea where to have it. The campground that we stayed at in Amana with Jason and Julie, that'd be a perfect campground to host some kind of group camp.
Yeah.
So stay
More to
tuned.
come.
Yeah,
More to
stay
come.
tuned. And then our friends over at Love to Be Hitched. Is there anything you wish you had done or started from the beginning? For example, memberships right out of the gate. We actually did all that. We had all the memberships, 1,000 Trails, Passport America, Harvest Host, all that before we even hit the road. This goes back to me being a planner. I had everything planned out. I had a spreadsheet all done. And
Starlink, we should have got that first.
yeah, probably would have jumped on that wagon earlier than what we did.
I would say the Class A, but at the time that's not where
we couldn't afford it.
We had the motorcycle, and I mean, we just had different things. So.
And then they want to know if we have a home base, which we do not. We do not have a home base. We have a storage unit, like we talked about in Alaska, but no home base. And would you recommend one? I don't know. I would not recommend one until you've been on the road for a couple years, 3 years, to determine where you want to settle down, I guess.
And a lot of it depends on lots of things, like we're very healthy. I mean, if there would have been some type of health emergency or a health scare where one of us needed to be someplace for treatments or some type of surgery and long time rehab, then maybe, but we're not there yet.
And another game changer that is for a lot of people that doesn't apply to us right now is grandkids. We have no grandkids.
We have no grandkids, yes.
So our kids, they're both single, they're both working full time, no grandkids. So that may change if someday we do get some grandkids. That may change the way things are. And then the last thing, Love to Be Hitched, they also want to know, would you consider a no sticks, no bricks camp out and gathering? Yes, we would.
We've actually been talking about doing this. Probably wouldn't just be us. We've thought about doing with a couple other channels.
Yeah.
And it would probably be somewhere central.
Yeah, maybe like Texas or something in the middle of the country. It would almost have to be spring or fall time frame, because it'd be too hot in the summer, and then winter, anybody from the north that wanted to come down, you're gonna have a hard time driving down to Texas in the winter time from the north. So
we plan to spend a lot of our winter in Texas. So other than this little bit that we did last winter, so we'll probably look at some places, and if we find something we like, then we'll probably start getting something in the works.
We already got a name for it.
Yes.
You know, like Todd and Sheila, they got huddles, right? We're going to call ours a deployment. Duh. There we go. This is my buddy Mike Beaumont. He wants to know, says, serious question. One of my biggest fears of full-time RV life is space. When you and your fellow traveler are not getting along. How do you guys handle that, or is marriage truly bliss? It's truly bliss. We never fight.
Never, ever.
Yeah, we do. We do fight sometimes.
We do.
Rarely, but we do argue. And we actually did a whole video on this subject, and I'll pop a link right up here for that. And it's living in a small space with your partner. Things that we do to combat that, to help make it easier on us. So
we both start to get in an argument. One of us leaves.
Yep. Yeah. Go for a walk, go for a run, go...
I take the Jeep for a ride.
Go get ice cream.
Do whatever you need to do.
It's pretty rare for us to fight, though. It does happen, but, you know, all couples fight, so... Go watch that video, because we go in a lot more detail on that. All right, next question from my buddy Mark Millen, another guy I served with, and he said, best wishes to you. Have you tried any mushroom coffee? I have never even heard of mushroom coffee.
I love coffee. I feel like I'm a coffee connoisseur, and I have not ever heard of mushroom
Is it a kind of coffee that gives you hallucinations?
Or is it coffee made from mushroom? No, I don't know.
Please do explain, Mark.
I would try it. I like mushrooms and I like coffee.
True. All right, next question from Steve. After 4 years, where's the #1 must-go place for you guys and why? So we already answered that. We both agree that Key West is our favorite.
Yep.
And on the other side, where do you refuse to go back to ever and why?
So it's not really the area. There's 2 RV parks that I would never ever go back to. We have a whole video on this. The first one, of course, is going to be 1,000 Trails in Las Vegas.
Oh yes, that's where we got our e-bike stolen. Our first year on the road. That place. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. The place is a shithole.
It is a shithole.
It's got concertina wire around the park.
And the staff there when we were there just didn't give 2 shits about anything.
No. So luckily for us, we can stay at Nellis Air Force Base, which is right near Vegas, and because we love Vegas. Vegas is a blast, but we'll never stay in that park again.
And the second 1,000 Trails park that had so much potential, but had crappy management.
Yep.
Was Lynchburg.
Yeah.
1,000 Trails.
Lynchburg, Virginia. Nice area again. The park itself was just garbage. There was no gate guard, right?
No.
Like they just got in and we finally found somebody that worked there. That's what it was. We asked them, I was like, do you have an activity list? Anything going on? And the answer was, well, I'm the activities director and I haven't added anything to the list ever. So
We were like, okay.
yeah, and the pool is green.
Yeah.
And the sites were unlevel. And yeah, we'll never
Like
go.
all the buildings, like the grounds, everything. Like nothing was it was horrible.
Now, keep in mind, this was 3 years ago. So we haven't been back since.
Right.
Maybe it's really nice now. If you've been there recently, put it down in the comments and let us know what you think. Maybe they've improved it. Hopefully they have. Oh, we're back to the RV, and there's Axel. He can. Oh my goodness! Could you hear us talking? I'm right here. I'm right here. Yeah. We were just down the road talking on that last one. He could hear us, so he was whining. He's such a baby. All right, back in the RV to wrap this up. We only got a couple questions left. Our friends Ruben and Lori over at Life After Kids Journey on Noon, they want to know what's something you've unlearned since hitting the road full time. A belief, a habit, or a mindset you realize no longer served you. That one is easy for me. When we were camping, but not full time, every minute counted, right? Friday afternoon rolls around, you try to get off work early, whether it's an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is, you know, and you're already packed up, you're ready to go for the weekend, you get to your spot, you set everything up as fast as you can, you get your campfire going, you know, and you try to pack in as much as you possibly can in those 2 or 3 days or whatever it is, and then you know you leave at the last minute to get home. You know, everything's rush. Well, now being full time, it's completely flipped. It's complete opposite. Never in a hurry. Rarely have a campfire like we talked about before. It's just we'll get there when we get there, as long as it's before dark. That's kind of our only rule. So that is completely done a 180-degree turn. Mosquito?
Yes.
How about you?
So before, I mean, I used to always be about like boondocking, where we can go take the 4-wheeler out, or like we're with our friends and just hang out and like sit by the campfire, have cocktails, be loud, play our music, karaoke, whatever we did. Where now,
and hookups didn't matter. Didn't care if we had power, water, sewer.
Now I'm a hookup whore.
And now we're both hookup whores.
Because we have, you know, like we live in it. So like I always want to be able to like just do laundry whenever I want to, and now that we have the dishwasher, I can like if I want to run the dishwasher, and just things are different. Like I just don't want to have to worry about that stuff.
Yeah, totally different mindset when you're part-time versus full-time. It just is. Okay, Lorianne, she wants to know, she says, hello guys, my husband and I would like to know how much planning you do as far as reservations and who takes care of that. So I already talked about that. I'm the planner. I use the RV Trip Wizard. So we discussed that already. But she also asked, do you use military campgrounds? And if so, what are your favorite ones?
We do.
We do use fam camps quite a bit. And our favorite ones probably are Nellis Air Force Base. It's a really nice fam camp.
Fort Meade.
Fort Meade in Maryland,
and the area was wonderful.
Yeah, there's so much to do there. It's a very nice campground as well, but it's $60 a night. Again, fam camps aren't cheap. They're still cheaper than outside base and posts and all that, but they're not as cheap as they used to be.
Oh, the one in Colorado Springs at the
the Air Force Academy.
The Air Force Academy fam camp.
That's a nice fam camp.
That was
yeah, for sure. Yep.
Oh, and of course, there's Six Bay in Key West. I mean, it's not anything great. Like, we didn't have a full hookup spot. There's only so many.
Right. We boondocked both times we've been there.
It's location, but I mean, they got the shower house, they got a laundry room.
They got a commissary, they got an NEX. They got a fuel station, so it's good. We like it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And, you know, when you stay on military bases, you just always have that sense of security, too. It just feels, to us anyway, it feels more like home. All right, our brother Todd Woodrum, he wants to know, do we miss the truck and the fifth wheel? I would say I miss certain things.
Well, obviously we missed the truck because we got the Jeep Gladiator, because we said we missed having a truck.
I do miss, the F450 was such a great truck. I love that truck. I don't miss parking it.
I don't miss driving it.
Yeah. As far as the fifth wheel goes, I miss having like the patio. It seemed like I had a lot more airflow through it with the patio doors down and the windows open, and miss having the garage for the dogs, especially Axel.
I miss the storage and I miss the food pantry and the storage.
Yeah. But will we go back? Not a chance. No, the Class A living is it's a whole nother level, and we absolutely love it. We would not go back to a fifth wheel. All right, Mark Richardson wants to know what made us want to do YouTube videos, and was it easy to start? No, it was not easy to start. So we didn't start our YouTube channel until we were on the road for 8 or 9 months or so, and we weren't going to do one. There's so many RV content creators out there that at the time I thought it's just a saturated market. We're never going to get into that market. There's just too many. Whoops. But I was talking to Jason from our Not So Perfect Life. We were actually at the very first Switch It Up huddle in Telona Ridge. And I was talking to him about it, and him and Dylan were already established YouTubers. I told him basically the same thing. I was like, I think it's just too saturated, and I don't want to do it. And he's like, you know what? You should do it because everybody has their own story. You guys are unique. You're both young and military, and you have personalities and all that kind of stuff. So it was really Jason that talked us into doing the channel. And so thanks, Jason, if you're watching this. It was not easy at the beginning because I had no idea how to edit video. I've always just played around with videos and making little 1-minute videos here and there, and
we used to make videos of our family trips.
Yeah, but nothing too crazy. Very basic editing. YouTube videos, that's a whole different ballgame. If you really want to captivate an audience, you've got to throw in sound effects and music and stuff like that. At least that's how I do it, and it took me a while to learn all that. And when we first started our channel, I was spending more time looking up how to edit video than I was actually editing video. But once I got it up here, then it goes really quick. I can pump out a 20-minute video in 6 hours or so. Like this video that I'm doing right now, this will be an easy video to edit because it's mostly talking. I don't have to add music, I don't have to add special effects, all that stuff. That's what takes the longest. That's what I enjoy doing though. We absolutely love having a YouTube channel. It gives us more reach to meet folks. It creates an archive of our travels for future generations of our family and friends to watch and for us to watch. Can you imagine? We're 80 years old in a few years and we're watching our YouTube channel from 30 years ago.
God, that's gonna be weird.
Isn't that gonna be crazy? We'll be like, look how young we were. Okay, last one. Hawaii of the North, our friends up in Canada, wants to know, are you planning any trips to the Great White North, Canada? And we will be going right through Canada next summer on our way to Alaska. We're planning on crossing the border around the Seattle area, and then we'll just take the Alcan all the way up to Alaska. So we'll be going through British Columbia, the Yukon Territory, that whole area that the Alcan goes up. So yeah. And then something's happening in Canada right now. I'm not going to discuss it quite yet, but we did get an email from a company that is trying to create a 1,000 Trails like membership for Canadians that will allow Americans to also join, so you can camp across Canada like a 1,000 Trails membership, during their summer season, May to October, whatever it is, under your membership for free. So not free, but you know what I mean, like 1,000 Trails.
Yeah, so you buy your membership and then you just...
Right. So that's in the works. More to come on that. I've been emailing each other back and forth, so we're trying to create a partnership right now. So stay tuned for that. Okay. Woo! That was long.
Yeah, a lot of questions.
We sure appreciate y'all helping us out with this week's video because we really had no idea what we were going to talk about.
Stuck.
Yeah, and you guys came out and really helped us out. So thank you so much, and we appreciate it. And until next week, safe travels.